Ladies, gentlemen, others, Moon Knight fans, Moon Knight, new to the moon scene. This is episode 91, Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast where two Australian people sit around and discuss all the good news, all the things of Moon Knight that are happening in this week. I'm joined by the one and only, the highest priest of Khonshu, Reynaldo Gesmondo. How you doing, Ray?
Hey, how you going, Connor? Welcome to the Temple of Khonshu again. It's good to be back. We've got another varied episode for our Looney listeners tonight.
I feel like, we cracked out some good Isla Ra's. You can check out our previous episode, fantastic Isla Ra with
the Power Chow.
But this one, we got news, we got video games, we got prices, we got music, we got a bunch of stuff that we've been missing the past few weeks. They're just knocking in.
Yeah, it's a bit of a smorgasbord here of stuff. Obviously, we are going to follow the phase of the moon, so we are always bound by that, which will be the kind of the backbone for the show. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff, plenty of listener feedback to get through. But yeah, a bit of news, isn't there, Connor?
Oh yeah, we actually got some comic news. We've got the Marvel preview, Marvel Presents 4 coming up about a month's time. Crazy.
Yeah,
it's not a bad time to be a movie fan.
Yeah, and some other things apparently in the works that will keep our loony listeners quite happy. So, but before any of that, of course, I guess, Khonshu, it's a little later in the night when we record this. We just briefly spoke beforehand. You've come back from the cinema.
I have just seen the new movie Us, those spooky horror films that I don't want to spoil too much about. But if you like to get out, if you like good spooky movies, this is a tense thrill ride with great actors.
Cool.
Some pretty interesting themes. Not quite as good as Get Out, but still a great film.
Is it? You mentioned Get Out before as well. Is it the same director? Is it? Or?
Yes, it's Jordan Peele, second writing, producer, directing credit. Well, for a movie, I think.
Okay, all right. And has it got anyone famous in it, or?
Oh, it's got like a bunch of Black Panther characters. You got Lupita Nyong'o, whoever plays M'Baku.
Oh, right.
Winston Duke.
Yeah. Yep.
You got the main actor from. Well, you got Tim Heidecker. You got a main actor from Handmaid's Tale, whose name I also forget because I'm very bad with names.
Okay. The lead actress.
Come on, give me a name. Elizabeth Moss.
Okay.
Elizabeth Moss. Yeah.
Cool. Oh wow. Yeah, I do like horror. I'm a big Evil Dead fan, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Don't know too much about the modern stuff, but that sounds pretty good. If it's got a bit of the Black Panther alumni, why not? Guess it. I know a lot of Looney listeners are into horror, so it'll be interesting to chat with them in the Looney bin to see if they've gone out and watched Us. As just released, I'm assuming.
Yeah, this Thursday.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you caught me, Conrad. You come home. You shot us a message, saying, "Are we ready to go?" Oh, I've been just starting and catching up on Love, Death and Robots. I think on Netflix. Pretty good. My God, I must say. Jeez Louise. I've seen the first three. All three of them are quite different. And Loonies, if you haven't caught this yet, I urge you to go check it out. I reckon the first one would have been right up Rick Ball's alley. It's a big monster mash kind of arena. The second one was really cool. I think right up our alley. A lot of cats there. Hilarious. Yeah, really cool, really good. So, yeah, catching up on a bit of that. I actually caught up. I rewatched Jessica Jones season 2, episode 1 as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I was listening to the David Tennant podcast.
Ah, fantastic.
Yeah, have you caught that or?
Not yet. But
Oh.
I've listened to every episode, and it is wonderful.
Yes, the latest episode's with Kristen Ritter, and it's really good. I mean, he's such a good interviewer, and I guess it helps that he knows them, and they just kind of bounce back. And it's quite interesting to hear about Kristen Ritter's background and her kind of, I guess, introduction into comic books and the Marvel Universe. But that kind of urged me to watch Jessica Jones again. So yeah, got that again just quickly before this episode began. But anyway, Connor, apart from viewing, how about the old comic bookuses? Have you read anything juicy?
I've talked about some stuff last week, so I'm just going to crack in. I really like the new Black Widow series. I'm not sure if it's getting quite the love it should, but it should.
I've heard really good reviews of it, actually.
Hell yeah. Soska Sisters, great horror writers, Flaviano, an incredible artist, just bringing full-on, action-packed, blood-filled, classic Black Widow story, and I love it.
Awesome. I might have to check that on trade or something.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic trade. What else was great? Another great Chip Zdarsky week, Daredevil and Invaders, Double Trouble every week.
Nice one.
What other? My personal stuff, I love Coda is a Boom Studios fantasy series, easily my favourite fantasy series on the shelves. Forgotten Queen from Valiant, GoBots and G.I. Joe, Sierra Muerta, if you want some classic 80s stuff done in the most interesting, unique stuff in the present. Ice Cream Man 11 is still like a fantastic Twilight Zone-esque story for the 21st century, comic form. New Sabrina the Teenage Witch series, kind of a mix of Chilling Adventure Sabrina and the classic book. That's Kelly Thompson. Yeah, Veronica Fish. And New Snot Girl and These Savage Shores. Wasted Space, 3 incredible indie comics that might not be on your radar, but should be. That's all I'll say for now. Big week. I'm loving comics at the moment.
Loonies, take your pad and pencil out.
I realise I do overload a bit.
That's fantastic. Scribble these down. Connor is a treasure trove of comic goodness there. He goes above and beyond the big two. That's great to hear, Connor. Geez, I really got to branch out myself. But no, that all sounds good. A few familiar titles there. I remember you recommending a few of them. But far out, worth checking out. Still going through my kind of slightly lagging pulls. So yeah, I mean, I just caught up with Incursion, Exo Manowar number 24. Great art there by Thomas Giorello. What else have we got? Forgotten Queen, of course. I only just read The Invaders number 2, which is really, really good. Obviously, yeah, Forgotten Queen. What else have I got on here? Oh yeah, I read that Captain Marvel, Braver and Bolder, something like that. There was that one shot by Jodie Hauser. Yeah, did you?
Is that any good?
Oh, it's hard because it's like a one shot. It was a pleasant read. Nothing too adventurous or daring. It was just based on 2 high school kids waiting to interview Carol Danvers, and she was kind of out in space, just kind of held up a bit with some aliens, but they were just waiting for her to come back, and she comes back, and they only get one question to ask her. So it was kind of a build up to that, and anyway, it's I don't think there's any potential harm to spoil this because it's been a while. The one question they asked, it was like, what would your younger self tell yourself today? Like, what would you do different? And she basically said, I'd do nothing different. Basically all my mistakes and everything I did makes who I am me, and yeah, and that was kind of it. So yeah, it was a real quick kind of one and done thing. Art was brilliant.
They always... Oh,
sorry. No, the art was good as well, but...
nice.
Sorry, they always what?
They always seem to release these one-shots whenever a superhero gets their big movie on the screen.
Yeah, and it's... I mean, they already had the...
Spider-Man got one.
Yeah, and they've got those MCU preludes that they released, which I thought... But like, they already had a Captain Marvel Kelly Thompson title, which is very, very enjoyable indeed. I'm a big fan of Jodie Hauser, her work on Faith in Valiant Comics. So I had to check this out. But yeah, it was a bit of a slightly disappointed with it. But like I said, the art's really good.
So we've got what is it? The Life of Captain Marvel in trade as well, which is a pretty.
That is a really.
I think a pretty strong book for new Cap Marvel.
It is. And Margaret Stoll, I think she wrote it. Really good. And Marguerite Savage, I think she drew it. Plus, I think a few others. Yeah, that's a really strong run. It's only 5 issues, but definitely worth it. And that was a really good tie-in to, not a tie-in, but a good prep for the movies because it kind of gave her a bit of background. Yeah, but apart from all them, I've still got a whole heap to still read. Oh, I read the also speaking of Kelly Thompson, the Jessica Jones digital original. That's I think parts 3 and 4 I've read. I think parts 5 and 6 has just come out to finish off the arc. That's with Purple Man. Very, very strong series. One of Kelly Thompson's best at the moment. She's really smashing it out of the park, I think.
Yeah, I know. So many new series and just each of them so different and unique. I think I might agree.
Yeah.
On Jessica Jones being her best. That it's a new crazy twist, the Purple Daughter arc.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and actually a little shout out. It might be a little delayed, but I know Capes and Lunatics, they interviewed Kelly Thompson, one of their recent shows. I mean, they release a lot of shows, rich and varied. But yeah, one of them was with Kelly Thompson, and she gives good insight as I guess the writing process and within the industry. It was really, really good listen. But but those were the ones. Kind of actually, and just finally. I read a small little Bob Layton, Ron Lim, Hercules, Twilight of the God miniseries. Couldn't help myself.
I've heard of that one. Is that a 2000s or 80s one?
Yeah, I think it's 2000s. It's really... 2000s. It's kind of really got a bit of a 90s flavour to it. It's very cosmic. Hercules, very much a cosmic entity in it. But it was quite fun and quite quirky, and... it actually features one of his buddies is a Skrull as well, so that was quite good to see, like another, I guess, portrayal of a Skrull, other than barbaric and evil. So that was good. Yeah, well, I guess apart from all that...
I actually haven't read enough Hercules when I think about it. I need to read a lot more.
Oh, yeah, kind of should. Start with the Abnett one. Dan Abnett.
Yeah.
Going Strong, I think, something like that. That was a really good one. That was one that Rebecca and I kind of were both reading at the same time. Really, really fun stuff. And then he is so different from the older runs and stuff. But, Greg Pak did a good run. With him.
Oh yeah, his was almost the iconic 2000s one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, pretty much. So, definitely worth checking out. But apart from that, Connor, we do have a bit of a white noise, aka
some good stuff this week.
Yeah, a bit of news to get through. Look, the first one comes from comicbook.com. And this dropped, I found this on Twitter. I think one of the Loonies dropped it, so I kind of shared the love. And in it, well, nothing's really confirmed, but Jason Aaron has kind of has teased that there is a story arc for Moon Knight during the War of the Realms, which is the next big event coming up in Marvel. It was kind of teased in, some images beforehand in... Avengers number 10, and this has kind of got us quite excited. I mean, there seems to be a fully fleshed out story for this. Whether or not this goes ahead, we don't know, but I know, Connor, yourself be pretty keen to see this kind of come to fruition.
Yeah, the big caveat here is that Jason Aaron doesn't know quite when he's going to shove this story arc in, but he promises it to be massive and important to Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Is the big takeaway.
I wonder if he actually will get a chance to do it. I mean, is this a thing that writers do, that they do come up with plots and stuff, but whether or not it gets past editorial, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you got to wonder how long, Marvel writers stay on. They love rebooting them, but at the same time, Jason Aaron has been on Thor for about 5-7 years.
True, and he does have the cred with Marvel as well. You know, if anyone can get a story, you know, past the editors, I guess it would be Jason Aaron.
Oath. And it's Moon Knight leading a bunch of zombies. What more to love? If we do see that, it's going to be rocking.
It's going to be great stuff. So yeah, of course we'll drop the article there. You can have a read for yourself. But that was just a little tease from Jason Aaron, one of the big guns from the House of Ideas. How about our second bit of info here, Connor?
Lovely little more preview pages of Juan Ferreira.
Mm-hmm.
Ferreira's,
just like Ferrero
Marvel.
Rocher, yeah.
I think there's a spell kind of different. I think there's an O in there somewhere.
Yeah, true.
Maybe. Dropping another sneak peek. Well, this was a sneak peek page in the back of the current Marvel Comics Presents, yeah? Issue 3?
Yes, I haven't got that yet, but yeah, I assume it is. Yeah.
But really dreamlike art with Mark in his goddamn underwear.
Yes! Well, I had this little conversation with Rebecca. She at first thought it was boxes, which, you know, obviously is a pretty cool thing. Then she retracted that statement and said, oh, it's probably trousers. I still reckon they are boxes.
I think there's just some, I think, tidy-whitey boxes.
Yeah, with knee-high socks, it seems. But I guess we'll find out when the story drops towards the end of April. This art looks really good. I mean, again, what I might do is create an album or something and put it in our Facebook group of any of the... We've got a few images here of other things. So I'll drop it in there to reference to this episode, and you can check it out yourself, Loonies. But yeah, really, really nice. It's something that you don't really see with Marvel, right? It's more... It kind of reminded me, in a weird way, of some Valiant comics. More of the painted style.
Painted, yeah. And this is even quite different from Ferreira's art on other stuff.
Yeah.
His, Fantastic Green Arrow on. So I think this is going to be something pretty crazy. I think if there's anything, we're looking at some of the crazy psychedelics, like, was it Moon Knight issue 3 or 4 of the Warren Ellis run, or some of those classic stories?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as you said, kind of very dreamlike here, and wouldn't put it past Mark for this to actually be a dream sequence of some sort. But you know, you never know. But yeah, looking good. So yeah, that's coming shortly. The next bit of news. Look, I was fumbling my way through Twitter, and I come across TKO Presents, the studios, which is that new publisher. Oh. Really cool. And a Moon Knight alumni, of course, Jeff Lemire, one of the biggies. They've announced, TKO on their Twitter, that Sentient by Jeff Lemire and Gabriel Walta is available for pre-order. And we'll drop the link there. But also, if you enter a code THANKYOU20, you get 20% off for a limited time. So TKO are very solid in their storytelling, I reckon. I'm sure you think so as well, Connor.
Oh yeah, such a strong start.
And if you're a fan of Jeff Lemire and or the Tom King, Gabriel Walta Vision run, because of Walter's art, you might want to think about picking this up.
I think so. I think it sounds like a great story. It's kind of like one of those, like, I was thinking an old anime. It's like Infinite Radius, kind of a sentient computer looking after a series of newborn babies, trying its best to look after these kids. I don't know. Sounds right up, you know. Jeff Lemire's rocked it on Descender and plenty of other really human stories, and Gabriel Walta, Doctor Strange, Vision.
Oh yes, Doctor Strange, of course, yes. And Occupy Avengers as well. Did some good work there as well. So, so a bit of a tip of the hat there to Mr. Lemire for that one.
And another piece of news, not quite, Moon Knight, but he's fought Moon Knight, and we hope Sparky Malarkey is out there listening. Taskmaster is reportedly to be the main villain of the upcoming Black Widow movie.
How cool is that?
We love some Taskmaster, because he is hilarious.
Yeah, he's a kind of overlooked sometimes, but he's quite a complicated character. I mean, from everything that Sparky has said, and he had a solo run about, I think, a short mini. I get the impression his back history and all that, he is not just your kind of one-dimensional villain. There's a lot to unpack with him there. Are you familiar with Taskmaster at all? Like, apart from the Moonie stuff? Yeah.
Nick Spencer writes an absolutely hilarious Taskmaster. He kind of flip-flops between super funny, arrogant dickhead and a really formidable opponent.
Yeah. That's it. That's his humour. I think that's kind of off-putting. Because he is quite a dangerous foe. But him associated with is a black ant all the time. They're quite apparent. There's a lot of shenanigans to be had with those two. But it'll be interesting to see how he comes up. I'm assuming he'll take a much more intense role in the movie. If he is indeed in the Black Widow movie, he'll be much more of a deadly foe.
You can only hope. Black Widow's shown herself throughout the various movies and the comics to be a rather kick-ass superhero. So if we're talking a main villain, he's got to be someone pretty formidable. And
with his, skill of photographic reflexes, you'd be looking at a lot of really cool action fight scenes in this. I mean, Black Widow really does have a lot of moves herself, so it could be quite a dynamic movie, this one. Just off the cuff here, Connor, who would you like? I know he's got a mask, but who would you like to see potentially as Taskmaster?
I don't know. You want someone kind of both. I kind of want this perfect mix of powerful and funny. I don't know.
Chuck Norris.
I'm watching Barry on HBO.
Barry, who's that? Oh, Barry. Okay.
Bill Hader. Is it Bill Hader?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, he's a comedian, though, isn't he? Yeah, he's
hilarious.
Yeah,
I love him.
He's good.
Maybe kick-ass or God, I don't even know. You want someone big, bulky,
big and bulky.
Jake Gyllenhaal. No.
Yeah, you'd be perfect. My God. Anyway, Tasky. Only a rumour, but it's nicely coming along here. The Black Widow movie, a lot of speculation, which is good. The next one, again, a bit of news, and again another little tip of the hat here to Jeff Lemire again. On Twitter, he's announced he's got a new weekly newsletter, so he'll be sharing processes and behind-the-scenes stuff, as well as news and exclusive first looks. So you can sign up. Just check the show notes on this episode, and if you're keen, I'd urge you to get your email across there on the mailing list, and be privy to all his stuff. I was thinking before, Connor, I thought we had actually signed up to his newsletter before, but that was Greg Smallwood. I got that wrong.
Which is another fantastic newsletter. They both have really good ones. They love showing old scripts and art and
and I do believe, although I haven't seen much of it, Jake Thomas, the editor of Moon Knight, in some of the runs, he made an announcement to go off Twitter, but he was starting up a newsletter as well, which I signed up to, but I haven't seen much lately. So it could be a trend,
Newsletters are almost kind of classic internet.
They are.
Kind of both don't and do see a lot of them. I love them.
They're good. They're good.
A good newsletter.
We
have a newsletter. If you want to check it out.
Oh, yeah, we do. We're one of them as well. Yeah, it just filters all the info that you need and you want. It's great. Check it out from Mr. Jeff Lemire. That'll be a good one.
And then the last bit of exciting news, just because we can't get enough Moon Knight goodness. Al Ewing, we reviewed both of the Infinity Warps Arachnite specials, but Al Ewing is bringing them back, 6 annuals with a whole bunch of the characters. Each of the Infinity Warps is getting their own annual, including Arachnite. Ooh. I have no idea whether these are all connected or whether they're one-shots again, but regardless, we will be covering the Arachnite one and any other ones he appears in. So it's 6 annuals, Soldier Supreme, Weapon Hex, Arachnite, Ghost Panther, Iron Hammer annual. Each getting one. Good stuff.
Yeah, these were quite good, I thought. There were a couple of, for me there was one dud, and that was the Weapon Hex. The others I thought were quite good. I actually hadn't read the Soldier Supreme. You've read most of them, Connor, if not all of them?
Yeah, I checked them all out, except for Ghost Panther, actually, which I think I just didn't read because I forgot.
Yeah, it's okay. It's good. It's got some nice little ideas here and there. Arachnite, I reckon, is Arachnite and Ironhammer was quite strong, I thought, and I heard good things about Soldier Supreme. So
Soldier Supreme was a lot of fun. I love a good Cap story, and that's like classic. It's almost like first Avengers Cap, mixed with Baby Magician, Stephen Strange.
Yeah, so it'll be good to see these again, and like you say, 6 annuals. I'm hoping there might be some ties, like with annuals you get multiple stories, so maybe one thread goes through it, and we get a lot more of the others. But looking forward to this. Not that long to go. It's July, so that's not too far off. We're up to June solicitations, aren't we?
Yes, July. So we got Hickman that month.
Yeah,
as well.
So not long to go there, and get that on your pre-orders there, Loonies, if you are so inclined. But awesome. So that was a news related to Moon Knight or Moon Knight creators, past and present. So yeah, a bit of a rare occasion, Khonshu.
No, we had 6 pieces of news, and not a single one of those was a comic book putting out a top 5 rumored MCU movies that are Moon Knight.
Oh god, yeah, thank God. For me, I think I'm going to try and get on this Sentient pre-order.
Hell yeah!
TKO,
you get 20% off.
Yeah, 20%'s good. Did you get any of the other older ones? You got the Josh Dysart?
Oh, I got all of them.
In slipcase or trades or digital?
Trades. I love a good trade.
Awesome. You got the Warren Ellis one as well? The Garth Ennis one as well?
Yes.
Cool, because I heard that kind of sold out and that was quite in demand.
Yeah, I think, Garth Ennis sells like hotcakes.
Oh, yeah, he's a big...
Classic Cap artist, Steve Epting. Big war story.
Epting. Okay, right. Yeah, great. Oh, man, I'm going to have to catch up with those because, I read the 7 Deadly Sins. And my favourite's that one and the... was it the Fearsome Dr. Fang? I love those two.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of old school, action adventure. It's a lot of fun.
And so, yeah, you can order those through the TK website, but also, if you want to support your local comic book stores, they do ship out to comic book stores if you ask to order them. Even my local Toowoomba one, Kaboom Comics, if you're in the area, they've got the TKO books ready to go.
Fantastic, yeah. So a big shout out there to Kaboom Comics. It's good to. We should like shout out like a random local comic book stores every week, Connor. I reckon.
I think so.
Get the love out there again. It's I'm a really big
want to
fan.
Send in?
Yeah. Yes.
You want to send in your local comic book shops if they've done good by you? We're happy to put them on the show.
Mm-hmm. I do believe on Twitter. So what was it? TKO actually on Twitter they said retweet this their post and add in the replies your local LCS and we'll follow them and basically spreading the word. So I dropped in, of course, King's Comics.
Awesome.
Got a like from TKOs, which is really good, and they're following us now as well. But
the power of Chad.
He weighed in as well, and I believe his comic store was called the Golden Age comic store.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So apparently it's the oldest comic book store I think in the US.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that surprised TKO, whoever's doing the TKO account. So a little shout out there to Golden Age Comics as well. I'll dig up the details of where that is, and again I'll chuck that in the show notes. But yeah, support your local LCS. It is a tough industry. But if you love what you're reading, and you want to keep it going, then show your support. That would be great. Okay, well, that was my rant. All right. Well, how about we take a short break and we get ourselves ready for basically what we're doing this coming episode. Now, sorry, before we head to the break, we haven't even announced it yet, Connor. Some of you will know from our newsletter, I actually pitched against each other we either do the Marvel Moon Knight pinball, or we do a future fight in the gaming review, because it is, or it was on Thursday, a last quarter phase of the moon. So we're going to do that. But we've come back with something different. So after the break, we'll let you know what has eventuated.
Hey there everyone, I'd like to tell you about the YouTube channel I Am Your Target Demographic. If you're a fan of comics, we have plenty that you'll enjoy over there, including a series called Heroes Like Us that explores comic characters of all sorts of different identities. And we even have a series that defines words that are used in nerd culture that you may not know what they mean. So you can check us out by heading to YouTube and searching I Am Your Target Demographic, or look up IAYTD on any social media outlet.
Welcome back, Looney listeners, to part 2 of Into the Night, episode 91, with the last quarter of the moon dropping us in Avatar of Vengeance video game review. Ray and I put it out to you, crazy bunch, to decide which one, and a whopping 60% of you told us to get over our pinball love and review Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah, it was a big. We put up the polls on Twitter, on Facebook. Like I said, originally probably just going to do Future Fight or the pinball game, but chucked in a few others there. And Ultimate Alliance came in, with, as Connor said, 60%. Second place was the Marvel Moon Knight pinball at 20%, so a huge difference there. Future Fight came in at 14%, and bringing up the rear was Contest of Champions with only 6%. I would have thought that would have gained a bit more love there, Connor, than that, but the other contenders were quite strong, so I guess
people just love their Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, my gosh, apparently. And of course, as Connor, you mentioned, the last quarter, look, there's a bit more extra information for you here, Loonies, why not? So, just to let you know, so any moon gazers out there, you're probably wondering, hang on, when I'm listening to this podcast, it isn't the last quarter. That's because the last quarter did occur on Thursday, the 28th of March. Now, the reason why Khonshu and I picked the last quarter like now is that because it rarely happens. So if we do get things like the last quarter or the first quarter around the weekend, then we'll pick that, obviously, because mostly, I've checked, mostly on the weekends it's either a waning crescent or a waxing crescent. So if we were strict to what we were going to do, we'd mostly be doing modern and classic runs. So to get a bit of variety, we have a bit of leeway. So if something falls on Thursday, Friday, or maybe Monday, and it's something juicy, like a new moon or a full moon or a last quarter, then we'll choose that. But so the last quarter occurred on Thursday. It is 394,246 kilometres away. It was illuminating at 56.2%. I'm not too sure what the age means. It's 20.9. I don't know what that means. With the last quarter, the moon sign is the Sagittarius, turning into a Capricorn. And our moonrise will be 9:44 in the morning, and the moon set will be at 8:30 at night. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Because you assume the moon goes up at night. But anyway, that was the information for all you moon lovers out there. So, Connor, without further ado, we are reviewing the Ultimate Alliance. My gosh. So, how are we going to kick this off? Shall we just go through the dry details of the...
I think so.
The game itself? So, obviously, I'm going to read this off. I mean, there's plenty of information on Wiki, and/or what else have I got it on? This other one, there's another site. I'll put them all in. But anyway, I'm on the Wiki fandom page, and the vital stats. Obviously, at Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the developers were Barking Lizards Technology, publishers were Activision, and it was released on various engines of platforms. In Australia, Xbox November 2006, Microsoft and PlayStation again, 2006. PSP, that was in, December. Did I say November? I can't remember. Anyway, it was also on the Wii, PS3, PS4, all that jazz, and it is an action role-playing game. Now, Connor, you are more experienced with this game than I am. Can you take the Looney listeners almost like a sliver of what this thing...
A sliver? Well, I should mention also that developers Raven Software and Barking Lizards have been barking up this tree, if you will, for a little bit. They did an X-Men Legends and also action role-playing game. It was basically the skeleton for this game. That was just an X-Men focus before it blew up to Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Right.
This massive game that saw a massive amount of playable characters. Let me just do quick calculations, if you can believe it. Yeah. Oh my god. My thing just died. Okay. Whole staggering 39 characters for us all to play as, from Doctor Doom to Deadpool to Black Panther to Captain America to Iron Man to Iceman to Miss Marvel to our Moon Knight. This was its own separate story. The second one is quite well known for tackling the Civil War arc. This one is Doctor Doom and the Master of Evil. They're beating the shit out of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury's like, all superheroes, get down here. When you kick off the game, you start off with a group of 4, Captain America, Spider-Man, Thor, Wolverine. They were the boys of 2006. They were out there. And then from there, you go through a variety of different villains, a variety of different locations, bosses, defeating down from Mephisto to Doom, until you can finally beat Doom. He's the big one.
Cool. And then how do you recruit more players, like more characters?
Yeah, so this is actual playing, so you have a team of 4 at any time. It's co-op, but you can switch between the 4 characters. Hack and slash, you've got various combos you can put in, and it's a matter of basically just kind of you can unlock them through playing. Some of them will come up for individual missions. I know for some of them you just have a whole range of them, just start off at the start and you just pick and choose, and you go for it.
Lovely. Cool. And of course, we know from a few of our Looney listeners that their introduction to Moon Knight himself came through this game. So I'm taking it he's a bit of a cult favourite in this game, Connor.
Well, he is a bit of an interesting one. So he is only available on the Xbox, PS3 and Wii versions, as well as the ports for the PS4, Xbox One and Windows games. So if you buy the latest version of these, you do get access to your wonderful Moon Knight.
Oh, cool. Do
not worry. He was an unlockable character exclusive to those consoles.
Right.
Yeah. So this game wasn't a Moon Knight introduction to me because I was playing the PS2 version, the DS one. So no Moonie for me, I'm afraid. But this kicked off actually a big a massive Marvel love for me. I think this was hot off the heels of kind of for me as a youngster, the Raimi Spider-Man and the X-Men films. So you kind of got those guys, and then the rest of the Marvel Universe. Well, which, as a young fan, I hadn't had that much interaction with. So while it wasn't a Moon Knight one, it was an introduction for Blade, Black Panther, Ghost Rider. Spider-Woman, who these characters I grew to love forever and ever. It's a pretty big part of my childhood.
I mean, the beauty of this game as well, and just looking at the breakdown of this game with all the characters, there's so many of them. So it would be a great universe to be introduced to. And the fact that you can, like, is playable, you can play these characters and unlock them, just gives you a good sense of, you know, what they can do and who they are. Yeah, that's interesting. So you were introduced to Black Panther through this game.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
You know, I was a small town boy.
Yeah.
I went from Charters Towers to Tully, which, if you know those are rural North Queensland.
Mhm.
So we didn't really have access to comic books.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
really the movies or the TV shows.
Right.
And you know, this was a whole bunch of almost comic exclusive characters you didn't see on the big screen that suddenly everyone could have access to.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this, though, isn't it? It's like, with these games, you know, you can actually see your or these characters come to life, and you know, obviously to an extent control them and see their abilities. I'm looking here as well. They've even got a Scarlet Spider, which is awesome. That was that is really cool. So, if we were to go through, look at Moon Knight himself. So, looking at Ultimate Alliance here, Connor, you might want to help me out here. Moon Knight is classified. What are these numbers here? Body 36, focus 18, strike 21. Are these levels?
I imagine so.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just pulling this up for you now. Yep, so these are the stats. So obviously, if you want... so obviously, when you're building your characters, you have a bunch. You have ranged, fast, you know, heavy. So, you know... obviously, you got your pulse arrays with Iron Man to keep your distance. You have Spider-Man with his webs. You got some people up close and personal. Iron Man can fly above enemies. So Moon Knight had a variety. He was a cool dude who was kind of, I don't know, a bit of a mix-up. He had he had the projectile present darts. He had his staff. He had his nunchucks. He also had a boomerang.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've never seen a boomerang with Moon Knight.
Oh. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. And so he was pretty much a long range person as well, it seems. He has a lot of projectiles, like the cable shot, boomerang, crescent darts as well. And I'd imagine with his body, focus and strike, you can upgrade, right? So, is that right?
No. Not quite. It was kind of just balancing out your team.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. So, because I'm thinking of obviously Future Fight, which is very similar premise. I mean, you're with 3 characters, and you go through, but you can upgrade. And I know a few of the Loonies were saying Moon Knight's actually quite verging on overpowered. Like, you know, if you stick with him and just upgrade him all the time.
Our resident, I think, some of our top level Moon Knight players in the world.
Yeah, very very proud to be associated with them.
So yeah, I'd say this for anyone who's played RPG. Sorry, I should say this actually plays more like an RPG. Those stats can't be particularly raised. You know, you can't put points in, but as you continue playing them, they level up to face stronger and stronger enemies. And because, you know, you basically pick and choose all these characters. So, you know, if you only have them for some missions, they don't grow with you, but you can have them for longer ones. They work together. Like, you know, different combos work better. Some character pairing them together, and you know, this game actually has a variety of endings that actually is based on the characters you have, and what was I going to say? Oh, and the amount of missions you complete. A bit of incentive to get your Moon Knight on. Get him out there.
Yep. And we should also, I guess, mention voice actor for this game for Moon Knight was Nolan North. I'm assuming a very dark and low voice, you know, brooding. Do you remember his voice in it? Wouldn't be high pitched?
No, I never got. Nolan North has voiced about 16,000 characters in just about everything.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Nolan North is a big name in video game voice acting, just voice acting in general.
He's like Billy West. from Ren and Stimpy. He did Futurama as well. Is it Billy West? Yeah, I think it is. Hey?
It's not bad. He's kind of nothing like quite so unique, but not a bad Moon Knight. I'm pretty sure some might agree, some might disagree.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
Well, hang on.
Sorry,
Connor.
Nah, pull up a soundbite. See what you think.
Well, I think with the magic of podcasting, let's just let's just hear it now. I'll just drop one in.
Moon Knight.
Yes. Didn't see that coming, did you? Lunar eclipse!
Yep, and that was Nolan North. Needless to say, Connor and I haven't heard it yet, but by the time this podcast comes out, a soundbite is dropped there for your listening pleasure, Loonies. Excellent. And also, I guess we've got here as well, Connor, I'm not sure if you're on the same page, this fandom thing. There's something here called, these are costumes. He's got his classic costume, he's got his ultimate costume, Khonshu costume, and modern costume, but that was a mod only by Razdell. So anyway, it seems to me that each of these different costumes as well, Connor, has a different advantages and disadvantages. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got everyone's kind of, it's that RPG kind of style. Everyone's got their own unique skills.
Yep.
He's got health regain, attacks speed up, more chance of critical damage. His crescent darts do more.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon.
So actually, Moon Knight, I'm just looking at that.
Sorry, what was that, Connor?
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, compared to someone like Captain America, he's Moon Knight was actually a pretty strong character to have on your team.
Right. Yeah. Oh, he seems to be the favourite of a lot of gamers. They seem to treat him quite well. I haven't, apart from the Marvel Legos Avengers and superheroes, it sounds like Moon Knight is represented quite well in video games, like playability and all that. Because the Lego one was pretty meh, if you ask me.
Well, I think it's kind of almost that thing like, most people wouldn't think to include Moon Knight straight away. So if someone does include Moon Knight, they're most likely a fan themselves.
That's true.
Got to get the boy on screen.
Yeah, true. And
so,
sorry, Connor.
I was just going to say something horrible, and the fact that after last week's Moon Knight Gold toy talk, or the week before, I should say,
yes,
that I can't help. I know that's the Khonshu, the Fist of Khonshu look, but it's just the Moon Knight Gold look now. There's nothing else to it.
Oh yeah, it is. It's someone pulled up, didn't they, that it was the body of Kevin Sorbo's Hercules reused in that line of toys for the gold. Terrible, absolutely terrible. But have you procured yourself a copy of that since we've? Well, they're still pretty hard to come by, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but I guess you'll have to wait and see if I post something the next few weeks about something coming in the mail.
I tell you though,
it's
very cool to see and hear that a lot of Loonies do have the Marvel Gold, Moonie Gold. That's great. Oh god, but yeah.
Now, lovely boy Adam Prime even has the Khonshu statue figure.
Yeah, and
what a grail.
Just from memory from his photo though, apparently the staff though was a little bendy, which is, it was a shame. It still, I think, would be one of the better figures to have. The Khonshu statue. What was that one again? That was the Finch kind of one.
2006 Diamond Selects.
Oh, Diamond Select, yeah. That still looks good. I think still holds up well. But so Moon Knight in Ultimate Alliance. Were there any other? I mean, even in Ultimate Alliance 2, Connor, were there any other Moon Knight characters that made a feature in here, or? I mean, that's a bit of a big ask, actually. I'm going through, or even villains. Look, I'm looking at bosses here.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. You fight Fing Fang Foon.
Yeah,
this
I
is
can't
bumming
see-
about. No, there's no Bushman or...
No, Bushman. I would have thought maybe even
no.
Taskmaster would have been there, but I don't see him either.
I believe he was 2. Fucking
Oh, was he?
quick look.
Okay. Right. And all the other Moon Knight villains, I'd say, are quite specialised or, particular to Moon Knight. So, yeah, nothing there. Oh, there's Namor. He's in there. That's pretty cool. Venom, he would be pretty good as well. So, sorry, Loonies, I'm just having a quick
love
look.
Venom.
Yeah, he'd be great. I like Venom in any Contest of Champions. He was really good. Silver Surfer, yeah, that'd be some pretty good ones here. Yeah, like you said, Spider Woman, that would be really cool to see. But yeah, no other characters it seems. Yeah, anything else on Moon Knight here in Ultimate Alliance that we want to touch upon? Connor also as well. Having said that, I know, Loonies, this is a bit of a broad discussion on Ultimate Alliance, but the meat of the sandwich, so to speak, is coming with Ultimate Alliance 3. Isn't that right, Connor? That's down the track somewhere?
That sure is. We will definitely be covering that one to Switch. We still have no idea whether Moon Knight's popping in it. He wasn't in Ultimate Alliance 2.
Yeah.
But this is a whole new era. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, we've got to do some digging. Maybe we can maybe ask the people that are connected if they do know Moon Knight is in there. But yeah, I'm sure we'll be doing a much more in-depth review of it because it will be a new game, obviously. We'll try to get the Rick Ball special in. But yeah, as Ultimate Alliance goes though, Connor, and again maybe drawing upon your Ultimate Alliance 2 experience, how would you kind of rate this as a game, kind of overall?
This game... Sorry, cat. Being attacked by a fearsome foe. These games are... they're a lot of fun. I love them. I grew up with them. Ultimate Alliance doesn't do much to, kind of vary it up. They're long. It can be quite a long game. I don't know. I think it's like 20 hours, maybe 10 to 30 hours. Somewhere around there, when I remember. And, it is just simple, fun beating up, which in and of itself is an enjoyable time, but it's not like the craziest, most exciting time.
Yeah.
The biggest, you definitely got to go in realizing that this is a game from 2006. Just classic beat 'em up. The biggest problem is these do have ports for PS4, PS4, Xbox One, but the ports themselves aren't always fantastic.
Ah, right. So sorry, Connor. What is a? It's really really dumb question. What is a port? What is that?
So these games were originally released on Xbox 360 and PS3, right?
Yep.
So what they did is they took that base game and they, fixed the coding and shoved it onto the PS4, a whole new console, basically.
Okay. Right.
And the thing is, obviously, the systems are different, the way they work are different, so you've got to build them right.
Yeah.
Gibbs is just murdering everything on my shelf.
It's going to town.
They've got to build them right, and if they rush it, there can be bugs, there can be problems graphically playing the game. So, I don't know. Worth maybe pulling out an old PS2 or PS3, Xbox 360. People probably still have those. Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, pulling those out. Just some good beat-em-up fun. These are fantastic to play co-op. I think the real fun is with a mate.
Yeah.
Just pummeling the shit out of some guys as your favourite Marvel characters.
Yeah, that aspect would be really enjoyable, I'd imagine. Not pummeling the shit out of people, but co-oping with your mates. I think that would be really fun. And I know people still hang on to their older consoles, right? And keep the games and they still play them. I've only got an Xbox 360. I guess I'll dust it off one day.
Get it then. Track down a copy on eBay. Get yourself out there, Ray.
That's it. I know. Welcome to 2006 when it first came out. Anyway, so there you have it, Loonies. It's a nice little overview of Ultimate Alliance. was about to say go check it out, but it's been out for quite a while.
You probably already have.
And you probably already have it, and you love it. Look, just go dust it off and go have another play.
I might
with it again.
Maybe I'll check this out with Rick Ball coming up, and maybe for 2 or 1 we might have an update if we can play Moon Knight. I don't know.
Oh yeah, why not? Yeah, that'll be good. Get practical, not get out in the field. That'll be great. So there you go, Loonies. That was our Avatars of Vengeance. This is off the kind of second one this year already. The first one we had the overview with Rick Ball, and this is looking at Ultimate Alliance. So I can't remember what's forecast ahead. There might be another one. I'm sure there is another one throughout the year. But but get playing and let us know your thoughts on Ultimate Alliance. Having said that, we do have some Moonie Missives, some listener feedback, not necessarily on the video games or Ultimate Alliance, but it's just great to give peeps a shout out, I guess. And the first one I'd like to say we got from an email, which is really great. So please write in if you can, just to say
we
hi.
love emails.
Yeah, I mean they're so random in a sense, but it's always so fun to read. Anyway, so we got one from someone signing as Movie Master Mike. And he writes, "Hey guys, I'm a Moon Knight fan and just recently found your podcast. I have an idea for a Netflix Moon Knight show. I know all the current ones have been cancelled, but I still think it would be cool. My idea would be an origin story starting with Mark in Egypt and basically following the comics, but obviously drawn out and dramatised for TV. But my twist on the story is that it's set in the late 20s, making it easier to believe that after a hard, bloody brawl, that the cops couldn't just use CSI and every camera in the city to figure out who Moon Knight is. Also, when he comes up with his other personas to help him fight crime, it won't be because he's crazy and has a multiple personality disorder. It will just be disguises he uses to help him fight crime, but will eventually go crazy and develop the disorder. Anyway, I am not too tech savvy and have no professional equipment or software, but made a mock intro to the show using still images. I will send it later on when I have the time. Thanks for taking the time to read this and keep up the great work." Yes, well, thank you very much, Movie Master Mike. I know Connor and
What a name, Movie Master Mike.
Triple M. I know he'll be... both Connor and I will be very keen to see your mock intro to the show using the still images. It sounds like a great idea, Connor. Set in the 1920s.
Yeah, this is almost what is it right up there with Spider-Man Noir and Moon Knight Noir? The Moon Knight Noir we never got.
Yeah, I like his certain twists to it, especially with he kind of harks back to the old Don Perlin, Doug Mensch days of
yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, basically the personalities not really being a mental issue, being more of just disguises. We know that, well, from Ralph Macchio, the editor, he said that originally was meant to be the case. So it was never meant to be a mental kind of issue, but that kind of just developed later on. But it's good to see that he's kind of, incorporated that into this idea.
Hell yeah, so thank you very much for that. We look forward to seeing those images coming across.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you shoot them through.
Yeah.
And if you want to send us out, we're happy to get that out to the Loonies as well.
Yeah.
We got our own routes through our fantastic Facebook group and all other stuff. The cat is above me. I think he's trying to kill me. Christmas ornaments. So
that's that Egyptology, cats, windows to the soul, their eyes.
Gods.
Connor, we have a couple. Maybe you want to take the Facebook ones, both from Facebook page and the Facebook group.
Yeah, so this is our big poll, the massive, crushing 60% destroying Ultimate Alliance vote that left Pinball and Future Fight fans in the dust. And obviously some of those felt the need to call out for justice. And they dropped in some comments, like from Christopher Lee Bremer, who said he's just one of many characters in Future Fight, do Pinball.
Yes.
Rafael Santos, who I believe is a top Future Fight. Is it Future Fight Marvel Moon Knight boy?
Yeah, he's the one in the the top. He's like the top 4 of the world or something.
Yeah, goddamn.
Yeah.
Santos the man. I'll vote for Future Fight because nobody chose it. Also, kind of because he is interesting there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll download Future Fight. I think it's worth checking.
Got to give
this
it a go,
out.
Connor. If you like Ultimate Alliance, apparently it's very similar. But it's easy to... I don't know how hard it was to get characters, unlock characters in Ultimate Alliance. It's kind of relatively easy to unlock characters in Future Fight. I'm comparing that to Contest of Champions, where you literally have to... you have to buy the new characters. But with Future Fight, you can pretty much, like, with enough experience, you can pretty much just recruit. It's pretty good. Yeah, and so I think another Looney...
Sorry,
Zin. Oh, I'll just finish. This is a small one here, Connor.
I missed it.
He responds to Raphael, and he said, "Yeah, he's all right, Moon Knight in Future Fight, though he does need a few reworks." And I think that was what we were kind of mentioning. From what I understand, he's quite powered up. So if you do concentrate all your XP and upgrades on him, he can be quite a formidable character. But thanks, Zin. Really, really good to hear. Loonies, keep him coming in. Connor, we have something from Twitter.
Clintar at Teflon Beast, which is a fantastic name. Obscurity be thy name. Releasing new... this one.
Yeah.
New EPs of songs from 20 years of home recording, the home decor. And he gives us a shout out with the title inspired by an ITK Moon Knight.
Yeah. How cool is that? Thank you so much, Teflon Beast. And yeah.
Now I know why that sounds so cool. It's a band. It's a bloody artist.
Yeah.
Home decor. Teflon Beast. Home decor.
Yeah, it's and he's I think he's used the title that we used for one of our shows, which was the music box of Savage Studs. I do believe we had the guest Orion. They're from We Are Venomaniacs. We talked about that issue, which was from, obviously, the classic Doug Mensch run. But brilliant and really flattered. Thank you, Teflon Beast. Go check it out, Loonies. Have a listen to what he proclaims is a lo-fi new music. Really fun.
I love a bit of lo-fi.
Yeah, of course. It's great. Gets you in a nice kind of intimate mood. There's no Marshalls stacked up to the ceiling. It's just your acoustic guitar, and off you go.
What's a Marshall?
Sorry?
What's a Marshall?
What's a Marshall? Marshall amp, like a speakers. The guitarists use.
I'm learning.
He's learning. And finally, from Instagram, want to give a little shout out to... We got a little message from the guys at Capes on the Couch, where comics get counselling. That's a podcast from one of the hosts, Anthony Sitko. He posted up this picture here, Connor. It's of Werewolf by Night, number 32, which we're all familiar with. The CGC...
Oh my God, this is really something.
Man, CGC rating of 9.8.
So that's about as perfect as a comic can get.
Yeah, and it's slabbed to the hilt. And it's going for US $48,000.
Just a quick little dip in the savings account.
Hey, Jesus. Anyway, Anthony just sent us a message, hey, want to go halvesies on that. And I said I'd probably have to sell my soul to Khonshu to get that sort of money. But, cheers. Cheers, Anthony. If I could, I would. That. And I know you would as well, for sure. That was on Instagram. So Loonies, we are also on Instagram. You just got to search Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. We'll be there. Basically, we just put up images of our newsletters and of our episodes. So go check it out. Well, Connor Shu, that pretty much rounds out our time here in the sun or in the moon for episode 91. We've just got a few other smaller things to wrap up, but how do you think it went? Went good? Had a good look?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I'll be keen to dive back in with a little more Moon Knight knowledge. I apologise for my DS-loving PS2 self. No Moon Knight experience here, but I hope all you Ultimate Alliance fans enjoyed a trip down memory lane. And I'm looking forward to covering 2 and the exciting release of number 3.
Number 3.
On Switch later this year. Baby.
Number 3 will be a big one. We'll be sure to, to take out the fanfare and the confetti for that one. That's going to be a big one. We might as well make an occasion of it. So finally, just our spectacles, our shout-outs. So again, thank you so much, Movie Master Mike, for your email. I look forward to your images. At Teflon Beast, thank you so much for the shout out and for your mention of us, of our show, inspiring your EP. Also, Capes on the Couch, Anthony Sitko, where comics get counselling. Check them out. They are a fantastic podcast. Recently, have had Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau on the couch, going through their issues. There's a lot there actually. And also finally, a couple of shout outs to LCSs like Kaboom Comics up there in Toowoomba, Connor, and Golden Age Comics from the Power of Chad.
Shout out. Love your local comic book store.
Yeah.
Not everyone has one, but if you do,
True.
Give them the love.
Yeah, exactly. They love the same sort of stuff that you love. So, if you're lucky enough, you can have a good old yarn with them. Or if not, just pick up your favourite comics. And finally, another last shout out to TKO Presents, of course, the new publishing line. Go check out this brand new, line of comics. Jeff Lemire is coming out with Sentient. That's coming out in, I think they said, was that the spring or the summer? One of the other. They're coming out. It's coming out later. Pre-orders are available now.
Once again, that'll be every issue of it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Available single issues, trades, digital.
Yeah, I love how they do that. They do it's almost like Netflix. You can do a binge and you just get all the comics at once, or you get it as a trade, a nice little package, or digital, of course. Yeah. So next phase, Connor, what do we have?
We have the big one. We've got special guest Noel Tate for our New Moon.
Yeah.
We are cracking down on the big one. That's the...
Yeah.
Is that the big old fan film?
No. So it's a Spotlight. So we're basically... so Spotlight's a bit loose. So we're actually spotlighting Noel Tate and his band Deleta. So a lot of you would know that all the music from our podcast is courtesy of Deleta and Noel's fantastic talents. So it'd be great to have Noel on the show. Basically, go through Deleta, Deleta's music. Get to just ask him some questions on how he creates stuff and his love for Moon Knight in general. And also, I'd like to grill him on. Apparently, he's got an upcoming EP, 6 tracks, all based one each on the Warren Ellis run. So,
oh my god, that is exciting.
Yeah, I know. How cool is that? So, I'm not sure when that will be released or how far that's come along, but it'll be a fun chat with Noel. So, tune in, Looney listeners. We're very excited to have Noel on the show next week.
We love Noel. He is a great Looney. He's in chat with us a few times.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he's a top bloke. Loves his comics as well. So, thank you so much, Loonies, for listening to us. As always, you can find us on email, itkmoonnight@gmail.com. Our website is intothenightpodcast.wordpress.com, where all our newsletters and show notes are. We're also on Facebook. We have a page and a group. The Facebook page which is more of the official, page, facebook.com/ITK Moonnight, and we have a closed group. But don't worry, if you want to join, just send a request. You'll pretty much be accepted as soon as one of us sees it, and that's at facebook.com/group/ITK Moonnight. Also on Twitter at ITK Moonnight, and as mentioned, we're on Instagram, Tumblr still, and YouTube. Just search for Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. Finally, iTunes ratings. Look, if you like what you hear, or if you have any suggestions maybe in how we can improve our show, we're always up for that. Just send us a review and some comments. Preferably, if you can, squeeze a 5-star review. That would be great, because that would just increase our exposure and allow other loonies to find us in that massive maw of the internet.
All those podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Which speaking of which, Connor, I saw on one of the chats. So the Australian Podcast Awards, that's coming out, is it? I take it. Yeah, I didn't get we didn't get a golden invitation in the mail for that one.
I think it's just because of purely how many great overseas guests we get on this show. You know, almost week to week. I can understand them excluding our incredible podcasting talents.
Of course,
for this one occasion.
Yes. Oh, no worries, Loonies. We'll be there next year or not. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. But that was a fun thing to see. I had a look at the. Actually, I'm really keen on checking out the podcasts that have been the finalists. Some of them sound really good.
A few.
Yeah, sorry.
I listen to a few, but I listen to a few good Australian podcasts. You know, we got some great comic ones, great pop culture ones over here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I've listened to a single one on that awards list. So.
No, but I'm sure they're going to be. I'd love to learn. I'd love to see what they do. But anyway, Australian Podcasting Awards. Connor and I will be tuxing it up.
We'll get our Stephen Grant on.
Stephen Grant, yep, and we'll be, swaggering into that with our martinis and such. Anyway, that's it, Connor. Not much to say. Quite excited for the week ahead.
Hell yeah, we got more comics. We got a Null Take coming on.
Yeah.
More good Looney stuff. Maybe more news.
Mm-hmm.
Good trains coming.
Hopefully more news. And with that, Loonies, I guess we should sign off.
As we always say on this podcast, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. Cheers, Loonies.
Catch you later.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.